Now, all right, so I'll do the Heretics Hangout with everybody. Todd, Darren, Chase, and Dwayne, cool guy. So our topic today, me and Chase talked about what would it mean to be in like a Christian relationship? What does it mean to like for marriages? What does it mean for friendship? What does it mean like how a guy is supposed to date a girl? Because obviously we see a lot of like social media, a lot of guys are hitting on women and women are hitting on men. So what do we kind of think it should actually look like from a Christian point of view? What does it actually mean to be like courting in a Christian sense? Is there kind of boundaries that we should actually be going to? Should we just be like not crossing boundaries? Should we be acting in a certain way? Should we be able to see like certain relationships that are different to say like worldly relationships? Should they actually look different? And today's thought is going to be opened up by Chase.
Okay, I thought this was how everyone who isn't a Pelagian is not saved.
Oh, so you've changed the topic and you didn't want to tell me again.
So I'm definitely in the wrong group.
I don't think there is a right group for you, Chase.
No, that's why they call me a Presbyterian. So where do I start?
Well, you were talking the other night about how you'd noticed a certain trend about how guys are using Christian sites in a way to be hitting on women. I mean, what is it that you actually saw that made you think like
that? No, actually they're using Facebook to do it. And, because I don't have any experience really with dating sites except signing up. But I'm not paying for that, so. And it seems that I've more than one woman has told me, or I've read on their wall, how guys go to their, messenger and start hitting on them while claiming they're Christian, but trying to, talk like, kind of conversation you expect late night at a club, man, when the ecstasy's starting to wear off. And Emily Combs, previously Emily Satterfield, she mentioned something like that a long time ago about guys adding her to their friends list, Christian guys, and then getting in the messenger and talking to her about how hot and sexy she is. And it's like, guys, alright, let me first start out by saying this. Okay. Yes, God has made women beautiful. Yes, we're attracted to them. And that is a God-given reason. But this doesn't mean we get to talk to them like we're getting ready to start a porno. And I'm kind of blocked in. I don't know where my Bible is. In other matters, I don't really know which particular scripture to go to anyway. I just know. I think the image speaking to them like you're objectified.
I think you said you think men are speaking to women like they're just objectified. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, you cut to the chase. It sounds like it.
Yeah.
That's then move. That's really the way pagan world.
Oh, yeah.
It's just unfortunate.
Hey Todd, do me a favor. See if you can turn your camera off. and then just see if that improves the sound quality.
Okay.
Because it might be that your phone's just not handling the actual amount of data that's going through it.
Okay, I tried.
Yeah, it's not improved it at all. It's that pagan phone you've got.
I'm to. Unfortunately, you can't hear me.
We can hear you a little bit. It's just probably just gonna have to double check what you say because just now and again it kind of breaks up. So you said that basically men seem to be objectifying women, like there's some kind of object, and I think that's kind of true what we do. Um, I think men, certain men, especially men who they don't have the spirit of truth in them. They would they're not going to act Christian, obviously. They may use the name Christian as a bit of an inroads. They may say they believe in Christ, but their actions probably show that they don't. So in a way, I think they're going to play a game. They're going to try tickle a woman's ears, try and tell her what they think she wants to hear, and see her as probably something else to maybe dominate in a way, to take control over and to conquer. The old Viking element that comes out in that testosterone kind of a thing. But if we're born again, we should be seeing our relationship should be different. Yeah, self-control, like we said, yeah. And that respect thing as well. We should be seeing how we should nurture women in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. But looking at how Scripture defines relationships and makes us relational creatures, it should be about knowing who she is, what she's about, not trying to come on to her. And I guess we kind of need to go there. What does it mean to come on to a Christian woman? Well, like that video, man. So I hear you love Jesus Christ and you're rich Charles Spartan. So you sign up and you share your food with her. Isn't that what you did with Aaron, Tom?
I missed that.
Never mind.
No, game. Me and Aaron was little, and I honestly said that we're kind of
Not getting a word you're saying, Todd.
Oh,
I can't hear a word.
Yeah. Todd, okay. I apologize, but you're not coming through at all, bro.
No, it'd be good to listen to as well. Have you tried restarting your phone, Todd? Try restarting the phone. Turn it off, turn it back on, then come back on and see if that improves. Could be a cache problem.
Can you guys hear me?
And turn down turn off any background applications.
Yeah, we can hear you fine, Dwayne.
Oh, great, perfect.
It's just something.
Your speakers now.
It's just something wrong with Todd's phone. I don't know what's going on. It's 1 minute it's there, next minute it's broken up.
Yeah, it's just like a conference call at work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, at least you've got an excuse then for not getting things right.
That's right.
So I'm gonna have a cigarette. I'll just go ahead and turn my camera off.
Yeah, I'd have a camera, but I can't find the one hanging around here somewhere.
So you don't think a good approach then, Chase, would be, to go up to a woman with the book of numbers and say, I don't have your number?
Yeah, actually, I'm trying to work up to you. Yeah. Or, your name must be Grace because I find you irresistible. Yeah, I think there's a time and place for things, and I absolutely believe that a man can affirm a woman's beauty without being a creep and in proper context. I mean, it's one thing to tell a woman, to compliment her on various forms of her appearance, and I hate that what it seems like is, for the most part, we're going to focus on the physical, but we're not. We're going to, I keep trying to move towards the person, who the person is, because even Proverbs tells us, looks are going to fade, but character lasts. And I probably should have memorized more of the Proverbs when I was reading them, but really, that's a book that I need to spend some time with, because I'm in the reflection phase right now, where, it's teaching me. Hope I could really, use it in any kind of application. But, it's one thing to tell someone, your hair looks nice today. It's another thing to tell them something about you just, makes me want to start kissing you. Unless it's your wife, and in which case you should probably occasionally say certain things like that to her. Don't call her a dirty whore or anything like that. Don't none of those kind of statements in the bedroom. And seriously, even if each of you knows, that it's just dirty talk, I don't think you should talk to each other like that. I really don't.
What about in a marriage situation?
That's what I'm talking about. I don't think so, because there's a reason Proverbs says that the tongue has the power of life and death. Just saying little things like that can still have the effect, and I guess I'm probably being a hypocrite now as an admin of the Heretics forum, where we call each other heretics all the time. So definitely something else I need more sanctification and understanding.
So, but don't you think there's a distinction between friendly banter and intent?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, to call each other heretics in sort of a ho hum kind of way, I don't know. I personally don't see it unless there's a heart behind it to really tear someone down.
Well, right, but the parallel to that is calling your wife a dirty whore in the bedroom. I mean,
yeah, I don't think that would go over very well.
Well, but even saying that the context is understood, and that's just kind of like your thing, you do the dirty talk. I just, I kind of view the whole Christian dirty talk thing, like talk dirty to me is like I didn't do laundry today or something like that. I don't know. But really, the focus is probably more single guy, single girl, and we're talking in a Christian context. So I don't have to keep saying, Christian man, Christian woman. I don't have to keep saying that. We'll just understand that the context is meant, as part of the body of Christ.
Well, I mean, if you're not married, there's certainly no place for that at all, right? If we give Scripture's definition of purity and things like that.
Right. And I think really one of the main things here is when approaching, a prospect for, to make a mate out of, a helper. I think really it's just to some degree as you would address any other Christian. Getting to know them, who they are, and who they are in Christ. What Jesus means to them should probably actually be one of the biggest pickup lines for a Christian.
Can you guys hear us?
Wow. Okay. Barely.
That's a lot better.
Call us crazy.
I can see your hair.
Oh yeah, it's purple. You can't see this like.
I can see your grey hair.
Gray hair.
Oh!
Ouch.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't figure out how to make it where you guys can hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's perfect. It's a lot better.
Okay, it's probably because it was charging. I'll try it. Let me plug it in and see if it works. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it works. Here you go.
They're just trolling.
I think you've also got to know, though, Chase, like in the definition of a marriage, where your boundaries lie. Obviously, you've got to understand where there are certain things you've got to do to edify one another, to lift each other up, and I do believe you're going to cross those lines in a marriage. You really are. But I think how you actually get through those is what builds a stronger marriage, builds a stronger relationship. And it's not going to be easy. So I think it's very important from day one that you make sure that somebody's got somebody of a good character from day one, or else you're going to have problems later on in life, We've got a very disposable mentality with relationships, just I would say of late. We don't seem to value the cost of them. We don't seem to struggle to get through the problems that do arise in life, unless you're a charismatic and your life's perfect. But my wife sent me today. This is a kind of funny. She always sends me a text message to ask me how I'm doing, and I get annoyed because I'm busy. I ain't got time to talk to her. But when she doesn't do it, I'm like, oh, she's not talked to me today. I'm missing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she sent me a message today saying, how is my day going? But because she's like me, she struggles with autocorrect. It didn't go going. It said hong. So my day said, how is your day hong? So obviously I had to reply back, how am I hong?
Right, and I don't see how that would even be, wrong. There's clearly a boundary, but when you speaking from your experience of marriage, that is really the issue. Getting to know them as a person in Jesus Christ. That's pretty much the description that Paul gives us about how a woman is to present herself and clothe herself. That's what's actually being spoken of there. And I guess I can come over here and look that up just so we can get in that direct passage. I think that would help us. And of course, search engines coming up clothing stores. And I need to be careful how I type this in. This might come up wrong.
I think if you're a man and you are dating, you should avoid tempting scenarios, like for example, like swimming or something, and they're in a revealing bikini.
Thank you, Mom.
It could be for some men, extremely tempting. And I know that even when we were dating, we would pressure each other into sex. And it wasn't that we didn't enjoy it when it happened, but we were hesitant to jump into it. And so you do have to be smart about what kind of scenarios you put yourself in. And like Chase said, the way you dress, that's including men. Men can dress in such a way that it can, you can tempt not only, your significant other, but now this is obviously when you're dating, not when you're married. But yeah, you can.
So skinny jeans are okay if you're married?
Yeah, well, you present yourself, even though you have a partner, you're still tempting others. So you have to still present yourself with dignity, despite the fact that you are married. And even within Songs of Solomon, they do show that the couple there try as hard as they can to be the most appealing to their partner. So there's a certain dignity to the way you should be approaching yourself, and it's not about sex. There's a certain beauty to it, even for men. But you should strive to be attractive to your partner, but not without losing dignity.
Well, Romans 13:14, because there's definitely a context for Song of Solomon, even though it's actually about Christ. Like the Proverbs are actually about Christ, but I don't want to take away from the practical applications for us. But Romans 13:14. But put on the Lord Jesus Christ and make no provision for the flesh to gratify the desires. Or, as the NIV or the NLT puts it, instead clothe yourself with the Lord Jesus Christ and do not think about how to gratify the desires of the flesh. So, going here to Colossians 3:12. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. These are really kind of how we should be, what we should be looking for here in appearance-wise. And obviously, the particular passage that I'm looking for is eluding me at this moment.
This topic includes purity as well, right?
What?
This topic includes married as well.
Yeah, but we're more trying to focus on how single Christian men should behave and speak towards women. But I think at some point we might also hit Simon's, there we go, one of the topics that Simon wanted to address, which, obviously that should be coming through. Okay, 1 Timothy 2. All right. I desire then that in every place the men should pray, lifting holy hands without anger or quarreling. Likewise also that women should adorn themselves in respectable apparel, with modesty and self-control, not with braided hair and gold or pearls or costly attire, but with what is proper for a woman who professes godliness, with good works.
He said your braided hair is jank.
Wow.
It's easy to style it. It takes so long to do it.
Let's see here.
So does that mean the wedding ring that we put on our wife's finger is not really a good thing?
It's actually pagan, by the way. Yeah, wedding rings are pagan practice, but I mean, come on. I really don't think it's wrong to have a sign that shows that you are in a covenant relationship. Critical of sign in a covenant relationship is, I hope you all understand how I'm trying to tie that together with the significance of the sign and seals that God has given as physical representations for the promises of the covenants that He's made.
In other words, what you're saying is, instead of a wedding ring, we should buy our wife some rubber gloves, a nice apron, just so when she's doing the dishes and stuff, she doesn't get dirty.
Good excuse.
Yep. But not shoes.
Kind of lost you again, Todd.
Let's just go ahead and hit up Calvin. Let's have some 400-year-old exposition.
Not very well.
Really.
It was good for a while and kind of lost you again.
Yeah, a little bit.
And there has been some kind of debate exactly what First Timothy. And I mean, let's be honest here, okay? It's really irrelevant if she's wearing a dress or not. She's a woman. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Sure. Like Paul's point is that, crawl out of bed and down dress as much as you possibly can, and then go to church. I think that's the point. I think it's more. We're gonna see with Calvin. I like reading. Don't ever read much from.
Chase, you keep muting yourself.
And he's most of the people who give commentaries that I know, with the exception of John Gill. And I like to keep with monergistic sources is really a big preference of mine.
Was Calvin even married?
Yeah. Pretty sure. Luther was. Spurgeon was.
Yeah, not Luther.
Interestingly,
I know Luther was. I didn't know Calvin was.
Both married to
Same woman.
unbelievers, which I think they ended up becoming believers.
Go eat dinner.
Okay. In like manner also women. As he enjoyed men to lift up pure hands, so he now prescribes the manner in which women ought to prepare for praying, and there appears to be, and slight contrast between those virtues which he recommends and the outward sanctification of the Jews. For he intimates that there is no profane place, nor any from which both men and women may have drawn near to God. That's not necessarily what we want to go to. Here we go. I think that's in the wrong verse. Yeah. Which becometh women, for undoubtedly the dress of a virtuous and godly woman must differ from that of a strumpet.
I love that word.
I know. That needs to come back with twaddle. Okay. Yeah, we must always begin with the dispositions for where debauchery reigns within. There will be no chastity. And where ambition reigns within, there will be no modesty in the outward dress. But because hypocrites commonly avail themselves of all the pretexts that they can find for concealing their wicked disposition, we are under the necessity of pointing out what meets the eye. It would be great baseness to deny the appropriateness of modesty as the peculiar and constant ornament of virtuous and chaste women, or the duty of all to observe moderation. Whatever is opposed to these virtues, it will be in vain to excuse. He expresses censures certain kinds of superfluity, such as curled hair, jewels, and golden rings. There's your wedding rings. Not that the use of gold or jewels is expressly forbidden. There comes my part. But that wherever they are prominently displayed, these things commonly draw along with them the other evils which I have mentioned and arise from ambition or from want of chastity of the soul. I think ultimately the point here is not that these things in and of themselves are wrong, but it is the recognition on our part, which either Todd or Dwayne was saying, is that consideration of what's going to happen. You know, I mean, if you're, there are going to be certain instances that you're just not going to be able to get away from a church function where bathing suits are being used.
Well, you should be fine in a Presbyterian church because they don't have fun.
That's true. My pastor has a pool and he never uses it.
I rest my case.
So, you know, when we're out in public, and you can tell the difference, because you can see a woman that dresses appropriately, and there's a certain attraction to that. And then you see, you know, the plunging necklines, you know, the short shorts, things of that nature. You know, you can tell the difference of I'm trying to attract a man or a woman. And we all like to look good when we go out, wherever we go out. I mean, clearly I don't care. But a person feels good when they're in some clean clothes and their attire is in order. So,
well, I think you hit the nail on the head earlier. You said that they don't weigh up the cost of it all or count the cost of it all. And it kind of like, how many times do we rush into most things? We just go headlong and we'll deal with the consequences later. And I think relationships every day, you know. So I think it's the same thing with a relationship as well. You got to think about what's really involved here. Where's it going to lead to? What foundation are you going to build this relationship upon? I don't even think we even get that far until we're way too long into the relationship to think about it.
right, and then you end up like me, 38 years old and still not married.
Or like me, 43 years old and married twice before with kids. So
you got practice.
I got practice at making mistakes, yes.
Okay, so the thing here is, in Scripture, what you are going to find is you're going to find a greater responsibility on the man. and I can't remember the exact passage, but it's in Hosea, where God tells the men, when your daughters play the prostitute, I will not punish them, because you did not do what I told you to do.
Hosea 4:14.
So, as men, we clearly have to. Man, this is killing me, dude. You've got to get a headset, Simon.
Why?
Because whatever comes through your speakers goes right back into your microphone and comes through to my speakers.
Oh, let me mute myself there. I think my levels keep automatically turning themselves up on my webcam. Try that.
So, all right. So as men, we clearly have a greater responsibility here, regardless of how the woman dresses. We have a duty to our God, which clearly is being Christian men anyway. I think we should strive to not cross the boundary of sounding like, I want your body, versus, I want to know who you are. And, you know, I'm interested in you as a potential wife.
But in a society where we're influenced by, it's all about sex. You know, it's all about, look at your songs, it's all about getting naked with somebody, getting it on, doing the electric boogaloo, moving on to your next one. So it's a kind of, just to reiterate what you said there about getting to know the person, this is where I think from a Christian point of view, it comes very, very serious, because marriage should be taken serious. So we don't take it. It's always like, you know, we're so in love, we just want to be together. It's like, you know, you want to throttle those kind of people. But I think it is very important to understand what is influencing your potential mate's life, because it gets back to what we said earlier with the foundation. What are you building your foundation upon? Is it from influences from the world and you just want to be like the world? Or do you want to be in the world but not of the world, kind of a thing, and building up from there?
Right. Absolutely. You know, and it gets very difficult, though, to discern those things, because you're wondering, at least for me anyways, I wonder, where am I crossing the line from noticing, okay, she's a physically attractive woman, to am I lusting? Well, generally speaking, if I know that she is not a Christian woman, and if I may be even more specific, if she's not of the Presbyterian persuasion, would I be willing to go get to know her? You know, why am I interested in her? Because right from the start, that should cause me pause, the fact that she's not a Christian.
And it should do. It really should do, because you know the story with me and my son. I don't get to see my son because of my ex-wife. And I think a lot of that was to do with, you know, we met when we were both charismatic, word of faith people. We moved to Colorado Springs to go to the Andrew Womack College.
Yes.
And when we moved there, it was a case of I became reformed. I started to change my beliefs and my doctrines. I became biblical, basically. And I think it's very, very important then that what is your life built upon as far as Scripture's concerned? Because you can't have, I think when it talks about, you know, being unequally yoked, a lot of people are talking about that's just related to marriage. I think it goes a lot deeper than just marriage. I think it goes a lot deeper than, you know, just whether you're both a Christian or not. I think it's more a case of what are your beliefs are. You know, what are you actually basing your future upon? Because when I started to become reformed in my belief, her whole side of her friends and her sphere of influence were telling her that I'm demon possessed or I'm of the devil or I'm deceived by Satan because I believe in what John Calvin was saying. And yet not one of them would actually deal with the scriptures that I would raise, you know. So it was always an emotional appeal and a lot of manipulation I would see. And
Well,
even
that
to this,
sounds demon possessed to me.
well, yeah, it's very demon. They were basically guilty of what I think they were accusing me of because they wouldn't be what I would call intellectually honest. You wouldn't have a conversation with me. Um, and I see this a lot in a lot of churches where, you know, you can see it today, even with Calvinists, you can see where they'll just completely persecute somebody for just thinking differently to them rather than sitting down and communicating.
Right.
And with people one on one like me and you, we can have our differences. We can talk about it. You're usually wrong, and we're okay with that. And
Yeah, but you're a Presbyterian, so
that beats being called of the devil. I tell you, that's the first time I've ever been called a Presbyterian. That was good. But I think as far as a marriage goes and your future spouse, these underlying principles here, I think, are very, very important. You know. Because it can be very difficult to live together with two opposite opposing views where you're going to disagree. I mean, just think of the kind of conversations that you probably can't have. You can't share in the experiences. It's going to feel like you're battling one another if you have two, like, you know, if you, like Sheila, you know, her husband's a Catholic and she's basically, sounds like she's being reformed. You know, she's a great woman. She really is. And my heart goes out to her, the fact that her husband is a Catholic. And if he holds to official Catholic doctrine, he's lost. So that must be quite a weight to be bearing, actually, you know, of somebody you really love. So that's kind of difficult.
Well,
I think it's very important then that you do try and make sure that your foundations are the same.
and 1 Corinthians 7 goes into that, you know, as far as if you're both married and you're both unbelievers, and then one of you becomes a believer, you know, how to endure that, what we're called to do, and wow, man, I can't imagine, you know, what kind of endurance and strength that must take on a person's part. I can tell you right now, I'm too weak for it. But you know, Paul does say, you know, and I think that's where some of my confusion comes in. You know, he says it's better for us to not get married. And he gives his reasons why. Of course, he does not say that this is a direct revelation from God. The Holy Spirit clearly led him to make the point, you know, this is from me, not from God. You know, a clear distinction, even though he's clearly a godly man and dwelled by the Holy Spirit. You know, to say such a thing as that, and then goes on to say that, you know, if you burn for her, then go ahead and get married. You know, he also makes it clear that celibacy is a gift, and not everyone has it. So
That would be a good chat up line, though, wouldn't it? Would you burn for me?
yeah. Are you willing to be cut off from Christ that I may be saved? No, I don't know, man. That may make her wonder about you. So clearly, even at that, man, even secular women, there's definitely a line. For the most part, well, at least there was, anyways, until I guess recently, where now it really doesn't matter. You can just tell people if they get offended, that's not what you meant by that. And they have to accept that as true. But you know, there's just a way that you talk to people and a way that you treat people. And you know, if you're thinking about making her your wife in any capacity, then you really need to think about her being your wife and what that means for you. Because you're called to a much greater responsibility than she is in marriage. And, well, okay, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Failure. Straight up. I can't imagine. I think about that every time I wonder about a woman. Do I want to be married to her, or do I just really want to have sex with her and I'm using marriage as an excuse to justify these thoughts?
But then it gets back to, you know, the abstinence. You know, far too many women are kind of led astray by men's ear tickling.
Yeah.
But if a woman was to actually abstain from any kind of sexual advance until marriage, the good thing about that is you want to see a man on his best behavior, it's when he's courting you. He's going to be trying his best to woo you, and he's going to be nice, and it's not going to last in the relationship.
Right.
So withholding things like that from a man, I think, will actually show his true character. You know, he's going to show basically that he's not getting anything in return right now. He could get a wife, and that'd be an awesome blessing, but he's not going to get his wicked way, and you're going to see his true character and see how he actually basically acts, which I think is a good thing, you know, because a man should be there to nurture a woman, not just to jump in her knickers and have at it.
Right, yeah, and I agree with the woman's responsibility as well, and that's going to protect her also, which, I mean, it's sad that that's how it's got to be, you know, that she has to protect herself, because, like I said, I mean, as men, especially Christian men, it doesn't matter if these things are consensual. What matters is we know what God says, we know what God expects of us, so even if the woman was to give in to the temptation, we as men have to be like Joseph, and if need be, run out of the room.
Yeah, there is that, and there's also the fact that if men were also abstinent, men aren't the only ones who are players out there and attention seeking. Women are very much like that as well. And I think a man has to be a man of integrity and you know, and keep himself to himself and let her see her true colours, because I do tend to think that women are pretty rebellious at heart. It's that old sin curse thing from Eve. And I do think it still runs, you know, pretty rampant out there. And I've seen it too many times where, you know, my friends' girlfriends are all out and sleeping around. My ex-wife basically slept around behind my back, and I wasn't allowed to stay out, but she slept around behind my back. And, you know, people do need attention. So you've got to be careful of that and make sure that she's also a good woman for you as well, I think.
You know, original sin is a lie of the devil.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who can say total depravity doesn't exist. If it doesn't, you must have been locking yourself up in a room, and then you're in denial.
Well, there are plenty of people who say that, but in all honesty, you can't read the scripture and deny it teaches total depravity. You just can't do it. But some people do, whatever.
They can, but then they're showing their total depravity.
Yeah. Yeah, the irony. And, you know, that's just the whole thing, man. I mean, we don't live in this world alone. And the reality of the situation is two people who may very well be very godly. They love their Lord Jesus Christ. it will always be Jesus first, when the smoke settles or the dust clears. But they might give in to that temptation when they're with each other. And, it does happen, and it's unfortunate that it happens. It really shouldn't happen. And then we come to the whole question, when is someone actually married anyways? Because marriage is not a piece of paper. It's a covenant of the heart. It is a dedication to one another. So you look at Jacob, man. Okay, yeah, he waited 7 years to get his wife's sister first, which wasn't his fault, but...
Hey, look, ugly women need loving too.
Yeah, well, but see, the thing is even though he was deceived, she was still his wife. He still had to take her as a wife. So then you kind of wonder, well, at what point does fornication cross that line to she has to be your wife? Obviously, I'm clearly not prepared to handle such things, but Jacob kind of honored that a little bit. Not really. he did not love her. He did love Rachel, though. And, 7 years hard labor to get the woman of your dreams.
It's like being in prison.
Well, I don't know if we want to go there.
Well, there's a reason why we call the women the ball and chain in England.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not going to say it. This is a recorded session. Yeah, no.
Can't imagine if Proverbs was written in this day and age. I'm sure it would be 3 or 4 times its size.
Yeah.
It'd definitely be a trilogy, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I could think of a number of Proverbs that could go in there.
That sounds almost kind of popish. So, I don't know if you guys are satisfied with that so far.
Well, I'd like to just add a bit more to it. I think, in an age where we've kind of devalued what words mean, we've devalued things like engagements. Look at Joseph and Mary. They were engaged before they were married. They did live together as being married, but they didn't know Mary until Jesus was born. But I think the dedication there that they had towards one another, that was amazing to see, what Joseph went through. He suffered the embarrassment of his wife being pregnant, and I'm sure people were whispering it was another man's baby, and Mary was a whore, and she's obviously slept around, and she's lied to him. He's stupid. He must be deceived. So he must have actually put up with a lot in the way of a social embarrassment, because they had a lot of esteem on the situation that he was in. Like when you're engaged to somebody, it's a life and death deal. It's as simple as that. There was no way out of it like we have nowadays, We've kind of devalued it.
Before the marriage.
Yeah, and that was before the marriage. So that's what I mean. It's like just the attitude that he had. They held like an engagement in a higher value than we do today. I mean, how many times, you get engaged to a girl and you put a ring on her finger, and then when she's pissed off at you, she throws it at you and she's done. She's out. Moving on to your best friend. And it's like, we don't put value or emphasis of value on those things anymore. And I think we do that today, as men as well. We've not become the men that we used to be either. We're kind of like a watered down version. We don't know what it means to be a real man. We've got fatherless children. We've got fathers missing from homes. Speaking from my own my own viewpoint is that I struggled to learn what a man is. My dad never showed me what it's about to be a man. And even now I struggle, you know. And I think in a society that's like that, we're just going to keep seeing a breakdown and breakdown of like what marriages are about and relationships are. And it is the church's responsibility that they do need to step up and start teaching more of this and preaching more of this, because you know what is influencing our kids? You know, is it the media
Right.
where everything's quick and easy and just all about sex, or is it about having a character? You know, one that's worthwhile talking about and having a good name because of that character. I think we've lost the value of that as well. You know, and that's kind of what I think we need to concentrate on as single men who are thinking about a woman. Surround yourself with older men, you know, who have made the mistakes, can hold you accountable. I know a lot of the young men that I've seen in my church, they come to the men's group, spend maybe 2 nights there and just think it's boring, and they'd rather spend the night at home with the girlfriend watching a movie. I think they've got the values mixed up, you know, they're not surrounding themselves with wiser people so that they can reap off of the knowledge that they've gained from making the mistakes. And that's all I wanted to add.
I'm trying to look up that.
See, I see you gotta be careful.
So you got to be careful
What you type in.
what you type in,
Because my thing's
going.
it's typing slow.
It's typing
so it
slow,
reaches
so it reaches
the
the point.
Older
So
man
I'm looking
instruct
up older man instruct
younger
younger
and
men,
part of it
and
came up.
part of
older
it
men
came up
dating younger
older
women.
men dating younger women.
well,
Well, at least it's not older men
That's
dating younger
That's not what
men.
I'm looking for.
well, yeah,
Well, yeah,
that's true. I'm
that's
sure you
true.
could probably
I'm
find
sure
that
you
too.
could probably find that too.
Yeah, just sign up to your local UMC church website and you'll be fine.
So, Titus 2.
Titus 2.
Crap, but it just did not give me what I was looking for.
Give me what I
Older
was
men
looking
are
for.
to be
Older men are to
sober-minded,
be sober-minded, dignified, self-control, sound in
in
faith,
love and
in love, and in steadfastness.
Older women likewise
are to be reverent in behavior, not slanderers or slave to much wine.
They are to teach what is
They are to
good,
teach what is good, and so train the young women to love their husbands and children. To be self-controlled, pure, working at home, kind, and submissive to their own husbands, that the word of God may not be reviled. Likewise, urge the younger men to be self-controlled.
Show
yourself in all respects to be a model of good works, and in your teaching show integrity, dignity, and sound speech that cannot be condemned, so that an opponent may be put to shame, having nothing evil to say about us. So really, ultimately what we are seeing,
living the
Christian life
by yourself
is impossible.
We need that community.
Of like-minded brothers and sisters, and
if
if we're not biblical or Christ-minded, then we don't need them to be like-minded. We need them to be biblical and Christ-minded. So,
I think for America,
I guess maybe Europe is the same way. That type of community mentality
has gone away
unless it means
getting rid of someone.
The moochers and the leeches of the community.
And I hate saying it that way,
but that's exactly how some people are viewed. Our elderly are viewed that way. Clearly, unborn babies are viewed that way. And there is an aspect here of love. Maybe that's where we go. To 1 Corinthians 13, and how love is to behave. So when you approach a woman, if you're not willing to set aside your desires in order to treat her with the honor and respect that she deserves as an image bearer, then you're not only
are you committing sin against her,
you're sinning against God.
And neither are you worthy of her attention either.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
So all right, bro. You was wanting to talk about our worthinesses, models of uprightness and integrity and sound biblical teaching.
I was.
Yeah. What was your?
Yeah. What was
Man,
your?
do I have to
Seriously, dude? I've got you right here.
Where are you?
Where are you?
I wonder if it was in a text message.
Messenger.
Proverbs 32, verse 1. If you put it on the internet, someone will bring it up to you.
That's what Proverbs 32,
That's what Proverbs 32 verse
Wow, I didn't know he said that.
32, 1.
If you put it on the internet,
If you put it on the internet, someone will bring it up to you.
That's right.
Right.
Really now I'm connected.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Making some weird noises.
I like this. I like this one. Proverbs 32:2. Don't believe everything you see on the internet.
Especially on Facebook.
Golly, well, that was a while back. Maybe we should talk about
us being admins doesn't mean we are great teachers, that we make mistakes.
Well, that's true. I mean, I make mistakes every single day. Because I know you were concerned about that, about a teacher reaping double the judgment.
Right.
Maybe that's another conversation for another time. And then we can just cut this one off at an hour.
Okay.